We're losing the opportunity to make a generational impact to preserve the beach community, and the characteristic of what makes Flagler County, Flagler County.
A plan to preserve Flagler County's beaches seems all but dead.
Last week, commissioners held a workshop to discuss raising the county's sales tax by a half cent to fund a $114 million plan for beach management. Commissioner Kim Carney.
I am opposed to the fact that I cannot get any other information out of this staff than a half cent sales tax that they have been trying to get for the last 4.5 years. You are overtaxing. I have brought ideas. I have brought suggestions. I have looked at the budget. I have done everything I physically can do as an accountant to make sense of this funding plan, and I can't make sense of it.
Commission Chair Andy Dance said the cost should be shared by the entire county.
You have the impact of a half-penny sales tax, or the impact of losing the economic tourism engine, or losing the potential of losing revenue from the expensive property values that are the beach. And it is a fact that the beach properties as a whole generate more revenue than we spend servicing them. It is what allows that revenue stream allows us to do a lot more services in the rest of the county. And if not this plan, then when do we address the rest of our deficiencies in the county?
From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Daryl Moody.
Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Monday, June 2nd. A Palm Coast teen is arrested for armed robbery.
Recently, Messiah Givens was one of 2 men arrested for an armed robbery that occurred in February and pleaded no contest to the charge of robbery with a weapon. As part of the agreement, the state attorney's office has recommended Givens, 18 of Palm Coast, be sentenced to 3 years in state prison, followed by 10 years of probation. More from Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley.
2 16-year-old teenagers are in custody of the Florida Department of Juvenile Justice after being arrested by deputies after they had committed an armed robbery of another juvenile at European Village. Our victim went to European Village to meet with who he thought were his friends, when instead they decided to rob him of a gun that he had brought so that he would be cool with them with their own gun, and also robbed him of his cash.
Sheriff Staley says the crime was handled with immediacy.
Our real-time crime center analysts, patrol deputies, and major case detectives had the 2 robbers in custody within 1 hour of the crime being reported to the sheriff's office.
Sheriff Staley adds this case and how it was handled should be a warning to others.
Parents, I remind you to be the sheriff of your home and teach as best as you can your kids to make the right decisions. If you have firearms at your home, even though you may have taught your children the proper way of handling, they know where those guns are, and I encourage you to keep them secure when you're not home.
Givens is being held at the Sheriff Perry Hall Inmate Detention Facility while he awaits sentencing. For Flagler's Local Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you.
The ballot box is something that we protect, and we are not going to see people that try to cheat to sway election results.
State Attorney General James Uthmeyer details how his office is cracking down on voter fraud.
He says Florida is ahead of the curve.
Florida's the first state in the country to create an election crimes office.
Here's what the office does.
There are complaints of voter fraud, as there's evidence of people that want to vote more than one time, people that should not be voting either because they're not a legal U.S. citizen or because they're a felon or a criminal that is not permitted by law to vote. If these instances are taking place, we are going to go after and prosecute. We want to make sure people know we are enforcing the law. We've got a team that's focused on identifying situations where people are voting illegally.
For example, Gerald Knight. He was convicted of attempted lewd or lascivious serious assault upon a child.
A registered sex offender who should not be voting, and we've got evidence that he tried to register to vote on multiple occasions and then ultimately did indeed attempt to vote.
That's a crime, and Uthmeyer won't look the other way.
We're going to make sure we prosecute and send a message to other felons out there that should not be voting. Again, if you do the crime, you're going to do the time.
Later this week, what Uthmeyer is doing to protect the public from scams. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Liz Ryan.
In other news, John Thrasher, former Florida State University president and longtime lawmaker who once represented Flagler County in the state Senate, has died at age 81 after a battle with cancer. A Vietnam veteran and former Speaker of the House, Thrasher was a key figure in Florida politics for over 30 years. He led FSU from 2014 to 2021 and played a major role in education reform. He died Friday in Orlando, surrounded by family. Meanwhile, in Flagler Beach, construction on a new concrete pier begins June 16th. The city secured final FEMA and state funding to replace the storm-damaged wooden structure. Demolition starts first, with the new 827-foot pier expected to be completed in 18 months. And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.
And now, Mike Licio with your WNZF local sports update.
We continue to recognize the county's all-area athletes honored by the Daytona Beach News Journal. 3 ladies made first team in volleyball. Alexis Hanna represented FPC. She was a major part of the resurgence of Bulldog volleyball this past season, transferring from the state of Washington. Hanna credits her teammates for helping her find a home in Flagler County.
It was really, really hard for me because I lived about 3,000 miles west of here, and the team was just so welcoming, and I love all of them, and they just helped me really be here.
2 Pirates joined Alexis, Kerry Petro and Rylan Miller. Miller is a commit to the University of Georgia. It was an easy choice.
When I went to Georgia, I just totally fell in love. Like the coaches, the atmosphere, the campus, it was all just amazing. The SEC facilities, I totally fell in love with the people. The commits were so nice to me. The players, so nice to me. I just knew right there in those first 5 minutes of talking to the coaches, I just knew it was awesome.
The second team featured Pirate Annalise Smith and Bulldogs Grace Taylor and Dillis Malasube. Girls golf had 2 second teamers. First, Pirate senior Zoe Allred, who back in the fall discussed her future plans.
I'm currently working on my AA. I'm dual enrolled, so I should be able to hopefully get my bachelor's in biology. I'm not sure what college yet, and then go into dentistry and become an orthodontist.
Joining Zoe was FPC freshman Ivy Seclaris. Ivy on her first year of high school golf.
It's a lot of fun. I like the team aspect and then the ability to get to meet a lot of new people.
Pirate boys golfer Trevor Chalice also made second team. Emma Gilbert of FPC and Theodore Vanderbilt of Matanzas were first team swimmers. Bulldogs Alexander Rudick and Matilda Noble made second team with Pirates Keaton Lisicki and Leo Peters. WNZF is your home for local sports. Friday, the honorees continued. From the sports desk, I'm Mike Licio.